Watching Survival for the Poor. Today we're going to talk about edible wild plants. I got my book, Edible Wild Plants. Now before I got this book I didn't know a whole lot about plants you could eat. Of course everybody knows wild raspberries, wild strawberries, cattails, the roots especially. But there's one plant in particular that I want to go over in this book, and you'll see why. We're going to go outside and I'll show you a little bit about it. In the future we are going to make a more in-depth video about edible wild plants. We're going to go into the woods with this book and mainly for ourselves, see what kind of plants we can find, but also for the viewers. This book's great. I've made several videos about it already. It's all colored pictures. It describes all the plants, what you can eat, stuff like that. So, to get started, before we go outside, we're going to talk about the plantain. And we're not talking about the banana here. It's this little weird plant that grows everywhere. That's why I want to film this plant. Because if you don't know much about wild plants that you can eat, at least you'll know this plant, and it's everywhere. So, read a little bit about it. Pick young leaves before flower stalk appears, or pick new leaves through summer. Otherwise, leaves develop stringy veins that are tough to chew. Strip ripe seeds from flower stalks from late spring through fall. Preparation, boil it, blah blah blah. Dry seeds thoroughly and grind into flour for pancakes, blah blah. Poisonous lookalikes, none, so that's good. You're not going to confuse it with something else. I read somewhere that if you eat too much of it, you get the runs though, but it's not saying anything about that in here. So before I post this video, I'll look that up and make sure, but let's go outside and look at it. It's kind of windy out here, so sorry if there's a lot of wind in the microphone, but I'm outside in my yard and I already see tons of it. It's this plant right here, this one. So you pick these little leaves and you can eat them. And they're everywhere. I mean, my whole yard is covered with this stuff. Another one, there's another one, there's another one. And I mean, I'll put a picture of it with, I'm gonna eat one right now. Not bad. Just tastes like grass, kind of. I had to wash that down with some beer. As I mentioned before, it's best to pick the small leaves in the spring or new leaves in the summer. You don't want to pick the big leaves because they get these stringy veins in them that are really hard to chew. They're like really fibrous veins. So avoid the big leaves and pick the smaller ones, and you can eat those. Something else too is the healing properties of this plant. If you have a cut or something, a small cut, not a big huge cut, but a small cut, you can make chew it up in your mouth into a little paste and put it on your cut, and it will heal it faster, kind of like Neosporin almost. And also same thing with mosquito bites and stuff like that. You can chew it up in your mouth and rub it on bug bites, and it'll make them not itch. It's also said to get rid of pink eye, and there's a couple other uses for it, but it's a really good plant to memorize and know what it is. It grows everywhere. I'm going to put a picture up of it. I know you've seen this plant before. As soon as maybe the footage outside wasn't that great, and it's spring, so they're little baby plants, so they're easy to mistake with other plants, but once you see this picture I put, it's going to click right away. Oh, I know that. I've seen that plant everywhere. And I guarantee you after you watch this video, if your yard's anything like mine, full of weeds and stuff, you'll find that plant right away. If not, take a walk down your sidewalk and you'll see it growing through the cracks. I can recall being downtown in Chicago, and this plant is growing everywhere, growing through the sidewalk. So this plant literally grows everywhere. Nationwide, it's not only limited to like Midwest or something. It grows all throughout the country, and it's literally everywhere. Great medicinal properties, and it's edible. So it's a good plant to learn. If you're not going to learn that many edible plants, at least know this one. Take a look at the picture I'm going to put up, and I'm also going to look if it gives you the runs if you eat too much of it, because I have heard that. It doesn't say that in my book, but I have heard that, so I just want to make sure. That way you're not eating a whole bowl full of it and all of a sudden you're shitting your brains out. So stay tuned, take a look at the picture. It's going to spark your memory. Memorize this plant. If you're not going to know any other edible plants other than like wild onion and wild raspberries and wild strawberries, at least know that you can eat this plant and you can use this plant for many other purposes. It's a great plant to have in your mind. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Survival for the Poor. Take a look at this picture.